Downtime waste. Downtime waste, defects, overproduction, waiting, non-use of talent, transportation, inventory, motion, and extra process. Today we're going to talk about inventory. Why is that a waste? That's not intuitive. It seems like we should have inventory, and we need inventory. We don't want to not have something when we need it. So that's our general way of thinking about it today. In the lean world, we want it just in time. We only want what's there for what we need for probably about a week or two. Any more than that is excessive, and it's going to be a problem. We're going to have to manage it ongoing throughout the life of the project. So we don't want that. So that can be a huge waste because I have to manage it, and I could have hidden problems. So the excessive inventory can be a real problem. I could have hidden problems. In other words, I could have bought a whole bunch of stuff that I brought on site, and it's got a defect or it's wrong. Now what? I got to get it all out of it. I got to get the right stuff. And I didn't know about it because I was comfortable in my thinking that, hey, it's here, we got it. Now I got to go unpack it and do all this stuff, and I find out it's wrong. Oh my God. So yeah, so inventory, we got to be careful about inventory. How do we, if I have the excessive inventory problem, that's waste, or I have the wrong inventory problem, that's another form of inventory waste. I could put up here, I have to manage the inventory, that's waste. Why would I have to, we're not in the business of managing inventory or warehouse manager. We're in the business of getting material installed in the building, right? That's value in the eyes of the customer, right? It's not value every time I've got to move material 2, 3, 4 times around the site. So, excessive inventory. Countermeasure, I need an inventory plan. What's my just-in-time plan? It's going to be tied to prefabrication. It's going to be tied to deliveries and how I transport it, so transportation. So notice that these wastes, very rare that I have one waste occurring. It's usually, they all intertwine on a site that has a lot of things happening. So you got to be watching for all of it. And so if I can reduce inventory, that's something I don't need to manage. It's just showing up on a well-planned schedule, just in time. I generally shows up Friday, and what do I have? I have enough material to get the work I need to do next week done, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, right? So that's a good plan. That's a tight plan. That's what we're looking for. So we don't want excessive inventory. That is a waste, and it causes a lot of problems on job sites.
Number 6 waste is inventory, the easiest to see, but very devastating because there's a level of security we feel by having that inventory there. You touched on it earlier. Look, give me the parts, I'll make the product. Those are all the components you need. Go make the product. But we run into issues called, oh, the design's changed. Now that's all waste, that's defects. We just wasted all this time. We got to transport it back, etc., etc., etc. So really, inventory should be connected via processes. One process is connected to another, and you should only have what's called a strategic amount of inventory, which means a certain amount that you're happy with that flows. Anything above and beyond that strategic amount of inventory is called waste. That waste needs to be dealt with. So you almost have to have the discussion again, Perry. What is strategic versus what is wasteful? Above that amount is wasteful.
Being mindful of inventory is huge because if we go the old way, which is just get as much of it on site as we can so we have it when we need it, because we just don't know when the tornado is going to hit and when we're going to need it. So we just want it here. We don't want to have to wait. So now we're back into the waiting. So this is one of the ways traditionally we handle waiting. We just get everything here. What we don't see is the waiting that now I got to go find it in this. Now I just became a material handling site. So it means I have to have people dedicated to handling that material, know where stuff is at. And lo and behold, we've all been there. We get the call, hey, usually happens around the lighting time. We have all these downlights and we can't find the trim for it, the finishes, right? So what do you mean? We bought it all, and on it goes. And then we have the fun excitement of ordering it again because the foreman swears up and down it probably didn't show, or if it did, it's lost now. Why is it lost? Well, because we had to move it like 5 times throughout the product life cycle before we needed it. All of that, waste, right? I move it, I bring in material in, I set it, I don't need it yet. Oh, but we're in the wrong space. We have to move it. So I go and I move the material. And then later on, in a different phase of the job, we got to move it again. And so we do. So instead of being tradesmen, we're material handlers, like as though we work in a warehouse. And that's what we don't want, right? We want what is the right level? And I would say on a healthy project that's going well, 1 to 2 weeks is probably achievable.
But one of the biggest things when we're looking at inventory and we look at root cause, why do we have so much inventory? It has to be we pushed the inventory there without having any concern for the customer. And the countermeasure to that is develop a pull system. Have the customer say, I use this, therefore I need more. Like a supermarket, develop that trigger, that pull back into the supplier, and that pull system is a great countermeasure, whether it's an and-on pull system, it doesn't matter. The point is, customer consumption, your downstream customer uses it, therefore deliver more. And then, of course, you brought up vendor-managed inventory. There's so many options. It's a wonderful world when you can control what everybody thinks is the biggest waste of all. Wonderful world. And it's because they have no control over it. But the biggest waste is overproduction.
There's a big movement, George, called kitting. I'm sure you've heard of it, where a lot of the trade partners now are trying to kit the materials for the space. Whatever that is, whether it's in-wall rough-in, whether it's conduit or mechanical or plumber, doesn't matter. They can kit the area or the zone, and it's a week's worth of work of materials that shows up, and it's so much better on jobs like that. Well, think about it. You have automatically know what got installed that week. Right? Instead of how about this? We walk the job. Hey, George, you're the foreman on this floor. How you doing? What % done are you?
Yeah. Yeah, good luck. So it's funny you bring up kitting, Perry, because my first job in a just-in-time environment was at Motor Coach Industries, which used to be owned by Greyhound, and I was in charge of getting the kitting done for engine build. And we had to talk to the warehouse, how do they want it? And it was every 2 hours. Of course, the difference between manufacturing and construction is we're talking hours or minutes, and construction's talking about days, weeks, mostly weeks. That's just a big difference. But yes, kitting, only have what you need in a complete set for that room or whatever the case is. Absolutely critical. Look, if you're in the middle of a project, the statement is stop production so production doesn't have to stop. Get that visual mechanism up. Outline what you're going to do on a weekly basis. It's easy to do. And when I say easy to do, it's a lot more work not to have it done. Okay? So that's great.
Well, just ask yourself if you like chaos or you would rather have order.
Well, Perry, you bring up an interesting point. Don't, because even if you like chaos, it's just not going to work. Okay, right. A lot of people love chaos. They love going and firefighting. Oh my word, this is where they thrive. If you love chaos, construction is not going to be for you 20 years down the road, because we're going to try to take chaos out of it. Chaos is the father of Muda man. And Muda man is an invisible villain of waste.
When you see a waste, film it, a short video with your camera, and say, this is the waste of transportation. Countermeasure I would use would be whatever you come up with. You need to do that for 3 of the 8. You don't need to do all 8, but you need to do 3 of the 8.